Good morning, SANFL fans, and welcome to yet another instalment of CK and Thringy's out on the full round 16 of the SANFL season. And first cab off the ranks is Sturt versus Central District. Chris, a grand final rematch. Sturt coming off a pretty disappointing loss last week to the Eagles, and Central fresh off a bye. How do you see this one unfolding?
Centrals would have been disappointed with that game, Thringy. Apart from losing Brandt Chambers, their forward movement really was very haphazard. They were just bombing in hope into the forward 50, and their accuracy in front of goals was terrible. It really did cost them a perfect winning opportunity. You're right, Centrals are just starting to freshen up really well for a run deep into September, and knowing the Bulldogs October as well, I think they're going to have too much in hand for Sturt, even if it is played at the only Oval. Bulldogs for mine in this one, probably by 3 to 5 goals.
North Adelaide taking on Port Adelaide at Prospect Oval, and it was the same old story for Port Adelaide last week. They won the last quarter, but a slow start cost them the game. You'll have me saying this about North Adelaide, but a win going into the bye season, going in pretty good form.
Well, a win's a win. I mean, they strung together one in a row, and the dying man clutches at a drop of rain as it comes down in the desert. Look, you're right, they did get a win, and that's all they can do. Hopefully it's a bit of an impetus for them to kickstart their season, because it has been a very frustrating for Daniel Healy and the boys for the whole season. The Magpies, if they can get a good start going, that has been their Achilles heel all season. They've won 10 of their 13 final terms, but for some reason they struggle with the start. If they can really get away to a good start, they're going to run over the Roosters in this one.
Well, let's hope they don't. West Adelaide take on South Adelaide in the next game, and South Adelaide almost pulled off the upset of the season last week against Glenelg. Very unlucky to go down there. West Adelaide, it's another night game for the Bloods. They're loving their night footy over Richmond.
They certainly are, and they're getting good crowds to it. No excuses for not getting 3,000 or more to this one. Look, you're right, the one thing we learnt last week, there's no such thing as a footy god, because it would have rewarded South Adelaide for playing pretty good football all day and just getting overrun by a bit of class in that final quarter thanks to Sammy Rudolph's 2 goals. At night, they're a little bit of an unknown quantity, although they have pinched a win and a draw in recent seasons at night, so we know that they don't mind playing under lights. West Adelaide have got too much to play for, though. They've got Sturt snapping at their heels. They need to keep building the wins to try and stay ahead of them, and if they do in this one, it's going to give them a further break on that final 5 spot. I think West Adelaide will have enough in hand.
Norwood host the Woodville West Torrens Eagles on Sunday to round out the round. And Norwood taking in, just like North Adelaide, Chris, Norwood took in some blistering form into the break. Woodville West Torrens coming off a win, which is all that counts, but it was unconvincing last week.
He's dining out the North Adelaide win, folks, don't worry about that. And you're right, Norwood were in very good form before the break. But then again, the Eagles, they did all they had to last week. They showed some fight at the right time. And they did get the points against Sturt. A little bit of a different story out here, though, at Nord. They've had some ripping encounters there in the past few seasons. Nord have got a fair bit of grunt around the ball, but Woodville West Torrens did prove last week they can match it in the clinches as well. Look, you'd think Nord at home, but don't be surprised if the Eagles are really pushing this one very deep into the match. But Redlegs should grab the win here, probably 2 to 4 goals, and they need to keep building that win so they can grab the double chance. That's a big factor for both teams, though, the double chance here.
There you are, thrill seekers. Support the local product. We'll see you next week.